Rule 9-9, the Backcourt Rule in National Federation of High School Basketball Rules. That's what we're covering today on 5 Minutes on Officiating. Stick around. Rule 9-9. There's 3 sections in the rule and they cover the backcourt violation. Very straightforward. Article 1, and this is by far the most important. Article 1, a player must not be the first to touch the ball after it has been in team control in the front court if he or she or a teammate last touched or was touched by the ball in the front court before it went into the backcourt. That is not language that's easily processed. We're going to break it down. We're going to create a formula that basically reflects that in a much simpler format. All right? But before we do that, let's look at Article 2. Now, Article 2 is a very rare occurrence. While in player and team control in the backcourt, a player must not cause the ball to go from the backcourt to the front court and return to the backcourt without the ball touching a player in the front court, such that he or she or a teammate is first to touch in the backcourt. You might remember in our lightning round episode that we just concluded, we had a play where from the backcourt, a team passed the ball to the front court, hit an official who was standing in the front court. The ball bounces into the backcourt and is touched by that same team. That is what this refers to, causing the ball to go from backcourt to front court to backcourt without touching a player, being the last to touch in the backcourt and the first to touch when the ball comes back into the backcourt. You can imagine a player standing with the ball at the division line, throws the ball forward with a spin on it, and it bounces back to them. They catch it. That's a violation under this clause. Or throwing a pass, you're near the division line, maybe you throw a cross-court bounce pass with English that contacts the front court and bounces to your teammate who's still near the division line in the backcourt. Something strange and unusual. How often is this kind of play going to come up? Super rarely. It's not a common scenario. But also, let's look at Article 3 because that's critical to our understanding of the rule. During a jump ball, throw-in, or while on defense, a player may legally jump from his or her front court, secure control of the ball with both feet off of the floor, and return to the floor with one or both feet in the backcourt. The player may make a normal landing, and it makes no difference whether the first foot down is in the front court or the backcourt. This is commonly known as the exception, right? It applies during a jump ball, when a player is making a defensive play, and during a throw-in. It's super important to understand this exception exists and it will come into play. Now, let's take a look at the simple formula that reflects Article 1 of the rule. Simply put, there are 3 elements that are required for a backcourt violation in National Federation of High School Rules. We must have team control on the court. Now, let's remember, National Federation of High School Rules gave team control during a throw-in, but it's only for the administration of fouls. It has no bearing on backcourt violations or 3-second violations or anything like that. It's an artificial team control. But that team control exists during a throw-in. But to have a backcourt violation, we have to have team control on the court. How is team control established in high school basketball? Team control is established by a player holding or dribbling the ball. That's in my pocket. I take it with me on the court. That I know. Holding or dribbling the ball, player control, that establishes team control on the court. So we must have team control on the court. That is the first part of the formula. The second part is that the offending team must be the last to touch in the front court. To know that, we need to know front court status. We need to be aware of status. And thirdly, the offending team needs to be the first to touch in the backcourt. So there we have it. Team control on the court, last to touch in the front court, first to touch in the backcourt. It's as simple as that. If those three conditions are met, we have a backcourt violation. If any of those conditions is not met, we do not have a backcourt violation and we have illegal play by rule.